જે ગ્લોબલ માર્કેટ્સમાંથી અપડેટ આવતા દેખાઈ રહ્યા છે એ ઇમર્જિંગ માર્કેટ્સ ઉપર કેવી રીતના ઇમ્પેક્ટ કરતા દેખાશે અને ઇન્ફ્લેશનરી પ્રેશરને લઈને કેવી રીતના આઉટલુક છે એ બધા ફ્રન્ટ ઉપર વાત કરવા માટે આપણી સાથે એક્ઝામ ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયાના પીટર મેકવાયર જોડાઈ રહ્યા છે. પીટર, ગુડ મોર્નિંગ એન્ડ વેલકમ ટુ CNBC Bajar. First of all, we would like to know about your reaction on US rate hike. Because of that, many analysts expected that rate hike should be on 75 basis point or more aggressively across the year. But as far as Fed chairman says, there is no aggression in rate hike. What your take on this?
Well, good morning. I personally think that 50 was where we had to start. The reason was quite simple. It was the biggest rate hike in percentage terms since 2000. And I think if we were to move with 75 basis points, which a number of the Fed members wanted, I think it really would have put a very, very different dynamic on the market. Fed Chair Powell is saying we will see similar moves on the table for June and July. So we could be sitting here in August and the rate is up 1.5% over that 3-month window.
Right. As far as inflationary pressure, do we see now inflation is on downside?
No, not necessarily. You've still got, I mean, if you're looking at energy prices, you're looking at food prices and the inputs. You've got WTI nearly at $108 a barrel. You've got Brent now around that 111. They've both been bid up strongly. The US dollar came off over when Powell's comments and as far as the rate rise. And I think it's going to be a very long process to pull down inflation or to get a reversal. So I don't necessarily think that we've seen the highest yet, but that's only an observation of the global issues with inflation.
Right. But Peter, there is one more the cues on this interest rate hike. As far as we've seen, Fed is rising the rates. Now other developed countries and other emerging markets also central banks are planning for the rate hike. As far as we've seen yesterday, RBI rising the rate hike 40 basis point in India also. So
yes.
Nowadays, if we see in the interest rate rising cycle in across the world, major central banks from the major central banks, then it is expected that manufacturing process and that old economy growth will be now scattered.
Well, that's right. This is the issue that I think central bankers have got a dilemma on their hands. What is growth going to look like over the next 2 to 3 quarters? Are we going to see positive growth or are we going to see a retraction? And some are saying you could see that R word being recession and recessionary fears across Europe and naturally the US. So this is the issue that the Fed has to take online and have a very clear understanding with the data that they believe that they're going to circumvent that problem. But only time will tell what impact this is going to have to the growth frontier for GDP and naturally company performance across the US.
Okay. Peter, one last question. As far as my memory serves properly, in 2008 to 2010, that's the 2 years we seen all commodity prices are on rising side. Do we said energy, metal or any damn commodities we seen on rising side. At that time we seen overall global equity markets facing a recession time and also facing a many much range bound side on both side, higher side or lower side. So as far as we seen last year, commodity prices on across the board on rising side. So now we are facing the same phase for the equity markets on global level.
Well, I think we've got a number of issues. First off, we've got the infrastructure spend globally that a lot of countries are embracing. Secondly, we've got an appetite out there that not only the commodity cycle still moving forward, but high fuel prices, high food costs, high base metals and high precious metals. This time round is a little bit different. We've got a lot more debt, and we've just got to be able to see the appetite out there for the mining stocks and, of course, consumption. So are we going to see that continual uplift as far as commodity prices? That's where everyone's saying, yes, you probably will. And what happens as far as Ukraine and Russia and the ongoing sagas associated with energy?